$300 off or a free 2-year warranty on 2024 Sea-Doo Sparks, and $500 off or a free 2-year warranty on all other brand new 2024 Sea-Doos. Rule the streets on an Indian motorcycle with customer cash and trade-in credits up to $2,000 during the month of September. On or off-road, Elway Powersports of Lincoln has you covered with a large selection of motorcycles and watercraft in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Hurry in, the clock is running down.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and we are out of the gate for September with a very special GMC sales offer. We must move out all new GMC truck inventory fast. So right now at Koppel, we are offering true GM supplier pricing for everyone. Yes, you heard right. True GM supplier pricing on all GMC Sierras. That's over $12,000 off on select models. That's GM supplier pricing, $12,000 off on Sierras. Do not wait. Stop on in or check us out online at koppelcars.com.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
A commitment to volunteer service is one of the many things that makes Nebraska so special. Volunteers give their time, energy, and resources, and they ask for nothing in return. The Step Forward Awards ensures they're recognized for all they do. Those honored this year for the impact they've made in their communities are Gretchen Mack of Omaha, Kira Montiel of Papillion, Vern Hickok of Cairo, Mildred Moody of Gehring, Blue River Arts Council in Crete, Nebraska Land Bank in North Platte, Lincoln Industries in Lincoln, Cinderland Meredith of Seward, Deb Zobel of Ashland, Sally Harms of Wisner, Senator Diana Shimmick of Lincoln, and Rick Weimer of West Point. Serve Nebraska thanks all nominators, nominees, and sponsors for helping us celebrate volunteerism. To learn more about the Step Forward Awards and this year's honorees, visit serve.nebraska.gov. Sponsored by Serve Nebraska, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations, now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios at 1040 O Street.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer.
Blitz is on. Taylor picks it up. Fires. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Canadian Football League Grey Cup champion.
Taylor again, wide open.
And first-team All-American quarterback Steve Taylor.
5 for Steve Taylor. That is a new Nebraska record.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, former All-American quarterback Steve Taylor.
It is Wednesday, and you know what that means. It's time for weekly rap sessions with All-American quarterback Steve Taylor, and it's a heck of a week to have one of the best quarterbacks to ever lace it up with the Scarlet and Cream to come in, because obviously we had quite a bit of a quarterback battle, or at least it was going to be a quarterback battle. I think the defense took care of some of that, and the run game definitely worked out. So, great week to have you in, and ready to talk some Nebraska, Colorado. Some people want to put that in the back burner, but we got to give you a chance to talk about it.
Man, I tell you, I've been reflecting on the game. It was a great week for the Huskers. I don't know if I have egg on my face, or if I got sold a bill of goods from prime time, if I was too emotionally attached to what was going on and everything. And he just sold me a bill of goods, man. I tell you, it was a tough week for me. I was talking to Darren Erstad at the club the other night, and he slapped me on the back and he said, Nebraska's just going to run right through the Buffaloes. And I was like, I don't know about that. I said, if I had to give the edge, I would give it to the Buffaloes, but I'm not wrong very often. And I was wrong last week. I will atone on that, admit that. I didn't know. I've seen enough of Nebraska now where I think I got a better gauge on where they are with everything. I've always liked them. Obviously, Colorado was just weak in the trenches on both sides. I mean, I'm just really flabbergasted. I think they may have gone backwards.
Yeah.
I mean,
new offensive line, same results.
Same result, worse results, man, worse. And defensively, they were as soft as you can get. They played better in the second half, but with the penalties that Nebraska had helped their cause. So I was really impressed. I mean, I tell you what, that stadium was the loudest I've ever heard it since I've been going to the game since I retired from football in 1997.
Wow.
I mean, it was ridiculous. And I think that played a hand in Colorado's ability to operate. But that first half was about as exciting as any Husker football game I've gone to in the last decade. And I was impressed. I mean, the pick six. I even saw, Raiola. We talked about this last week. He made it. He took his drop, went to his progression. It wasn't there. He scooted and got 10 yards. It was first down. I mean, so I was impressed with that. I mean, I feel really good about Nebraska and where they're going. I've always felt that way, but now I've seen a little bit more and have a better gauge on where they are. Now they're going to be tested here in the next couple of weeks, but Rule has to be happy with their performance, notwithstanding all the penalties in the second half, which I think enabled them to put more points on the board. But impressive, very impressive. So I feel kind of duped, because I was staying true to my word. I really was. I thought it would be a much closer game, and maybe the edge with Colorado, but Nebraska stepped up, man. They stepped up. So I'm pleased. I'm not wrong very often. This is at 3 or 5% that I'm wrong. And I was definitely wrong. So I will account for that.
Well, that's good. At least you can admit to it. And at least when you're wrong, it helped the Huskers out. So I think this is one of the times where you would probably prefer to be wrong.
I had Nebraska. That's the only loss I had on my schedule. I had them almost undefeated going to Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
It's still going to be a test, so I could still turn out to be okay.
Yeah.
But it looks good for Nebraska, and they should only get better. They really should.
Do you think, and I was talking with Rashawn about this, he feels like they've got, he doesn't like the fact that they're ranked. He doesn't feel like Colorado was a worthy enough opponent.
That's crazy.
At 2-0, maybe they shouldn't be ranked. What do you think?
I get that argument, but I've been impressed with Rule from day one. And with his track record, what he's done, and the chemistry of this team, and the focus of this team, their skill level is better. They're more experienced and deeper in the trenches. There's still some games that they're going to be tested, but that front four can be dominant. We'll see in the future, but right now I like what I see. And their secondary, I think their secondary is solid. They can cover, and the more pressure you get, the easier their jobs are. So I think they're worthy of a top 25 ranking. I really do. When I look at all the teams out there, I don't follow to the depth that the captain does. But from what I've seen and what's going on, I think they're deserving until they prove otherwise. And I think they could climb up the charts.
Yeah.
I think the Illinois game is going to be a good game. I'm not going to overlook this one coming up this week. But I look at them to win that game. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting year. I think I called it early in the year that I think it's going to be a Cinderella year, and it's looking that way.
Yeah.
It's looking that way.
It's definitely off to the Cinderella start that Husker fans wanted to see. You did mention Northern Iowa briefly with them coming into town, and I know you've been there as a player. How do you keep yourself composed, and focused on the next opponent after such a big win? The next opponent, they're not expected to test you. So how do you keep
Nebraska
focused?
has a lot of things to prove. They got to play 4 quarters. They got to clean up the penalties, the holds, the holding, and the blocking, and the clips, and all that kind of. They got a lot of work to do. I mean, that's what's good. I mean, so they should score some points. I want to see a clean football game. I want to see them continue the excitement, the energy, and the momentum that they're going with. So go in and knock those guys out. Knock those guys out. Get it done. Make a statement now that you're ranked, because they're going to expect a wide range of points. So they have a lot to play for and a lot to prove, and that's why this team. I think Rule has this team dialed in. they had this team dialed in. They're not paying attention to all the noise. They're dialed in and working on things that they need to work on, and they can definitely take that out on the foes this week.
Well, and I think you're right. You hit on something there that maybe the second half being, shut out, losing 10-0 in the second half, winning the game, but losing the second half, right? That might be a blessing in disguise, because if you win that game 56-3, it might be hard to tell some of those players they haven't made it. But, it's pretty easy to go into the locker room and say, you guys literally didn't score in the last half of game, So we do have a lot to work on.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And Rule's going to be on point with that. So this team is as prepared as any team that I know. I'm not in the locker room with them and the coaching, but what I've seen from Rule is that they're prepared with the X's and O's and just with their mentality. So there's not going to be a letdown with that. So, like I said, this team is going to continue to improve and to gain confidence and everything. So that's why that first half was a great football game. The play calling was excellent. I was really impressed with the running game. Mm-hmm. At some point, they were averaging between 5 to 8 yards a pop. The play action, the misdirection, they were stretching the field vertically with passes. Receivers are getting behind their defensive backs. Raiola was throwing some great intermediate passes and everything. So that was great. They got a little conservative the second half. Defense kept it up. Shedeur was under duress pretty much the entire game. Obviously, he didn't finish. They get a great job of collapsing the run game, which Colorado did not have much of. So they definitely controlled the line of scrimmage. So we'll see what they bring this week. I expect them to be as aggressive, maybe see a few more secondary blitzes and whatnot defensively, but they're as solid as you get. Coach White has those guys zoned in. So I'm really inspired by what they've done, and they can just continue to grow and just to get better and come together as a team.
You guys can always get to chime in on the conversation. 402-464-5685 is the Sartor Heyman Jewelers text line. We also have the video stream. I almost said that, but Sartor Heyman Jewelers text line. Bill and Bennett asks, didn't that pick six look like Tommy Hill baited Shedeur to pass it to his side to you, Steve? Did it look like he...
that's what good, solid defensive backs do. They have the speed, and they know they can break on a ball. And I think Shedeur threw it a little high, a little late, just as like a story read or something like that. But it was a risky pass being backed up on his goal line. I think the crowd definitely had an effect on that, and just the pressure. It was just a great play. It was a great defensive play. And you got to give the guy credit and kudos to that. And the timing could not have been better. As a quarterback, you're always thinking about when you're throwing that out down there when you're in your 5-10 yard line. That could easily happen. But that's game preparation, seeing their tendencies and stuff like that. They're well prepared. He was in position, nice break on the ball, and took it to the house. So, it was just a tremendous play defensively.
So there's some initial thoughts from Steve on the game. We got plenty more to talk about. This is Weekly Wrap Sessions with All-American quarterback Steve Taylor. We'll take a quick break and be right back with you here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hello, this is Mary Pat Waite. I've had the privilege of working with Lincoln families as their realtor for more than 31 years, and I'm so proud to be associated with MP Dodge Real Estate. For me, your transaction is unique in its own way. My experience allows me to bring you trusted care and a really great outcome. My NP Dodge family shares the same client focus.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Disney on Ice presents Mickey's Search Party. Get closer to the magic than ever before. Play along with the Toy Story gang. Explore the colorful world of Coco. Sail away with Moana. Soar to new heights with Belle. And journey to Arendelle to thaw a frozen heart. It's an all-out celebration at Disney on Ice presents Mickey's Search Party. Coming to Pinnacle Bank Arena September 27th through 29th. Visit DisneyOnIce.com and get your tickets today.
Are your feet just killing you? You feel like all hope is lost? Say goodbye to discomfort and hello to pain relief at Brown Shoe Fit. They offer expert advice along with high-quality products to help you find the right solution tailored to your specific needs. Need a different width? Not a problem. Brown's carries a wide range of widths in store. Brown Shoe Fit on 66th and Q.
Rain snow or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
and electrical.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Explain to me again why we're sleeping on the ground.
Because we're thramping, thrift camping. It's saving us money and getting us closer to nature.
But we don't need to thramp. I just combined our home and auto insurance with our State Farm agent, so we have a rate that fits our budget.
Oh, right. Do you think our agent can bring us an air mattress?
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krekak, at 402-474-1173.
Individual premiums and budgets will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran, for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Anderson Ford, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Vinny Krekak of State Farm Insurance, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Attention! For a limited time, Acres is offering 1.9% for 60 months on remaining 22 and 23 John Deere combines. This extraordinary low interest rate, along with Acres' discounted pricing, allows you to upgrade your equipment before harvest and lock in incredible savings. And with Acres' A-plus support package included, you'll be up and running throughout the harvest season. Act now. This special rate won't last long. Visit acres.com for details. That's AKRS.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and we are out of the gate for September with a very special GMC sales offer. We must move out all new GMC truck inventory fast. So right now at Koppel, we are offering true GM supplier pricing for everyone. Yes, you heard right. True GM supplier pricing on all GMC Sierras. That's over $12,000 off on select models. That's GM supplier pricing, $12,000 off on Sierras. Do not wait. Stop on in or check us out online at koppelcars.com.
It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Early break. This is the group chat of the three-legged stool.
1 minute into the game.
Yep.
Jake Sorensen. Dolphins offense looks like feces. 1 minute into the season. 14-0 Jacksonville. Season over. Yeah, and I said, maybe next year, Jake. That's been my motto for 33 years. It gets better. Finn's down 17-7 at half. There is someone booing in Brewski's. That someone is me.
I didn't see that one. That's funny.
That was funny.
That's funny.
That meltdown was unbelievable. You were 1 minute into the season.
It was startling.
Early break from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket. Now back to weekly rap sessions with All-American quarterback Steve Taylor on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back here on Weekly Rap Sessions with the All-American quarterback, Steve Taylor. I am Jake Buckman in studio with him. Quick shout out to Mary Ellen's for the delicious lunch today that they provide us every Wednesday. Head out to 2801 Pine Lake Road and check it out for yourself if you have not. If you have, I don't need to tell you because I know you'll be going back. I think they open up at 4 today, so check out their website. But thanks to Charles and the guys for providing us some food there. As we mentioned before the break, you can join in on the conversation by texting in 402-464-5685 on the Starter Heyman Jewelers text line and ask Steve any question that you may have from the Colorado games, and we have a few of them. So I'm going to go ahead and give you some questions.
Let's see what they got. See how much egg I'm going to have on my face. Good thing I like it.
Nebraska did obviously get shut out in the second half. 0106 says, are you saying that Colorado made better halftime adjustments? Would you say that?
Yes, that's one thing that encouraged me, that I thought they had an edge. The previous week, they made some great halftime adjustments and they shut the team down. And they pretty much did that. Now, they had help from Nebraska with the penalties and all, but I've been watching them, and they have defensively and offensively made good adjustments. So, so that gave me, I took that in consideration.
Yeah.
But Nebraska helped them dramatically with a bunch of the penalties and so forth. And then I think there was not a natural letdown, but a letdown with the Huskers, just because there's so excitement the first half.
Yeah. And that's when you're up 28-0 or whatever.
But still, that's when you got to finish it. But that takes experience. And those guys are young, and they haven't not really had success like that in the first half. I'm telling you, man, the energy in that stadium, I couldn't hear. I mean, it was ridiculous. And I was probably 10 rows up right behind the Huskers, and it was loud. It's as loud as I've ever heard that stadium since I've retired.
Travis Hunter was very complimentary of it. Yeah, I mean, he
really?
said the same thing. Yeah, he said
he's a good kid. He's a good kid. He was jawing a lot. He was talking a lot at the beginning of the game, and then not so much in the latter quarters, man.
But it was cool, and I understand that, he's wearing Colorado Buffs uniform, so we're not supposed to cheer for him and all that. But he did, did you like the fact that he was kind of fiery even toward his own sideline to some of his own players? Is he trying to get that group going?
I've watched him quite a bit on social media, and behind all the glitz and glamour, he's a well-grounded kid. I mean, he's engaged, and he's a straight A student, very humble, doesn't go out, doesn't party. He doesn't represent a lot of that stuff that's going on. And he's a genuinely good kid, and it's going to serve him well. So I'm not surprised. Now, he talks some smack, but he also can back it up too, And he had a very respectable game, but he's really a good kid. So I was not surprised about that.
And I thought, he held his own for what it's worth too.
Yeah.
I mean, for Tommy Hill, you want to say it's a good game, but he did have over 100 yards receiving. So you look for that.
A guy like that's going to get his yards, because he's going to get a lot of passes thrown his way. And the Buffs have done a good job of designing plays, getting him in space where he can make things happen.
But he did pretty good cornerback wise too. Nebraska's receivers weren't necessarily the reason they won that game, I suppose I could say.
No, but they did enough. I mean, they did get behind him a couple of times. He was very fortunate, with that. But no, he's just as good on the defensive side of the football. So there's no question he'd be a top pick in the NFL draft.
A couple more questions coming in here. 0739 wonders, what do you think of Shedeur Sanders leaving the game early? I think there was a little bit of a thought of the students coming down.
Good thing he left early, because he may have been done for the rest of the year. I mean, I feel for that kid. He's going to get banged up. If he makes it to the halfway mark, that would be a major accomplishment. They just did not do a good job protecting him. And when he's outside the pocket, he's not very comfortable. I feel for the kid, because I think he's a great quarterback, but he needs help around him. He needs people in front of him, and it's going to be a long season.
Yeah. Nebraska definitely, that front line had some fun.
Man, I was impressed with their front line. Those guys they were a beast.
Yeah.
The pressure was there. So I don't really know if the Buffs offensive line was really that soft when we played better than expected. So that's going to show its face later, or in a few weeks from now. But as far as now, they got great size, and they were impressive. They were. Now, We'll see how they line up when they face a more physical team.
Yeah. And it's interesting. Obviously, Colorado didn't run the ball a whole lot.
They couldn't.
With their running backs. Right. They couldn't to begin with. But they finished with like 45 yards. You take away sacks or whatever, they finished with like 16 yards. But I heard post game too, Shedeur talking about even on their 4th and 1s, he wants to pass the ball because he thinks that gives them their best shot.
They tried that when, but they were in a shotgun or the pistol when they did that.
Yeah,
I was a little surprised with that. They're not on the center very much. They have a tall task in front of them. So, and you can't fix that overnight.
Yeah,
like I say, I think Primetime sold me a bill of goods. Just and I will atone to that. I just thought that with him going out and getting new talent, because on both sides, offensively and defensively, they got some 5-star recruits there, right? That they would be better in the trenches than what they were last year.
Yeah.
And I've watched them a little bit, but I gave maybe too much credit to Deion Sanders, a Hall of Famer, that he wouldn't overly embellish the quality of his defensive line, his offensive line.
Now they talk a big
and
game.
I think he did just that.
Yeah.
And I just didn't see a guy of his caliber doing that because it wouldn't serve you well. Because they look worse than they did last year.
Yeah.
I know Nebraska had a great defensive plan and we're stronger, but I think they went backwards.
Yeah.
I really do. Or they guys just didn't show up. But it was a tough environment to play football. But one thing I was telling my wife, we were talking about this, I just came back from a golf trip, and that's why I respect these professional golfers all the time, is that you're playing in all these different courses, different grasses, different greens, weather conditions, and because I didn't play very well. I actually played pretty good, but could have played better. But when I say football, the stadium's the same. The football field's the same.
Yeah.
You either have a natural grass field or you have the artificial grass field. Everything else stays the same. So it doesn't really bother you to go on a road and play, except for the environment, the noise level. But you can always deal with that, right?
Yeah.
But I thought that would be a factor in that. But in the end, I don't really give it too much, maybe 3 points or something like that.
Yeah.
So I was really surprised at Colorado. Nebraska just did a good job. I don't want to talk about what the Buffs didn't do. I want to talk about what Nebraska did. And they were prepared for this football game.
Yeah.
In all aspects. So the kicking game was good. The punt returners are making good decisions on returning football, catching it. We won that battle. The punts, so it was very impressive. Very impressive. It's early, but Rule has done a tremendous job of getting his team prepared to play week in and week out.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting to see what they do moving forward with this season. So much potential, I think, is there too. Like we were talking about in the first segment, is as good as they look, there's room for improvement, and if they can shore up on a few of those things, they can really be a team that's tough to take down. Nobody's going to want to see on any given Saturday. They did kind of shore up, and I thought they did a good job too with Coach Rule hiding some things in week one. I have an idea that maybe they had an idea of who their two primary backs are going to be. Didn't necessarily show that in week one. They didn't blitz it all in week one. They didn't show any of that.
Yes.
Dylan Riley didn't run when there was holes in week one. This week he kind of did. So I thought there was a lot of good gamesmanship there. What did you see from Nebraska's rushing attack in Dante Dowdell and Ramir Johnson that maybe gives you more hope for the rushing game in the conventional rushing game? Because last year, Nebraska was good at rushing, but it was from the quarterback. This year, the running back, and especially the first half, looked good.
The best thing for those running backs is going to be their passing game. Their misdirection, bootlegs, counters, I think was huge. And stretching the field vertically. And Raiola did a good job with that, of showing them the football and carrying out the fakes and everything, and being able to hit passes off of that. That takes so much pressure off the offensive line with the misdirection, with the counter boots, with the stretch plays. When you're running stretch plays, the running back can see the angle. He can see the angle, so he can always cut it back and everything. And then to have the counter boots and the passes off that, and then stretching the field vertically puts a lot of pressure on those linebackers and those outside linebackers, the defensive ends. I thought the play calling was superb. with that. So this new quarterback coach, I think Satterfield and his co-offensive coordinator both did a great job with their game planning in the first half. I was really impressed with that. And that takes so much pressure off the offensive lineman. And you saw the holes, the running backs were getting 5, 10, 15 yards a pop, running back by committee. So if that continues, I think we should have a 1,000-yard rusher. I think one will emerge, as you kind of saw that this week.
Yeah.
They're kind of going to one more so than the other. But to have two fresh running backs that are solid and took care of the football is going to serve Nebraska well in the future.
All right, we've talked about just everything except for Dylan Raiola. Let's jump into talking about Dylan Raiola and his performance against the Buffs in his potential for more coming up this season. That's coming up next year with Steve Taylor on Weekly Rap Sessions with All-American quarterback Steve Taylor on 93.7 The Ticket.
Ever stare at the Hog Wild menu and feel like you just can't make up your mind because it all looks so good? Well, when I want a little bit of everything, I get a little bit of everything on Hog Wild Smokestack Sandwich. On a butter-toasted bun, we pile on our hickory smoked beef brisket and juicy hot links. The hard part is choosing between fresh curly fries, classic baked beans, or coleslaw on the side. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
The McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket is your place for English Premier League soccer. On Saturday, Arsenal tied Brighton 1-1. Leicester City lost to Aston Villa 2-1, and then Bournemouth beat Everton 3-2. On Sunday, Chelsea tied Crystal Palace 1-1. Newcastle came away victorious against Tottenham 2-1, and then Liverpool shut out Man United 3-0. The top two teams in the EPL standings right now are Man City and Liverpool, both 3-0. You can catch all these matches and more at the McKinney's Irish Pub, your headquarters in Lincoln for English Premier League soccer at 8th and P.
Looking for a place to relax and unwind after a busy day? Cigars Lounge at 8th and Q in the Haymarket is the perfect place to enjoy good company, a cocktail, and of course a cigar. Visit Cigars Lounge on Tuesdays for Top Shelf Tuesday and enjoy 50% off select spirits. Cigars Lounge offers Perdomo, San Cristobal, Rock Patel, and more of the top stogie brands that you know and love. But that's not all. If you mention this ad between noon and 5 p.m., you'll receive 15% off your entire tab just by mentioning the ticket. Check out Cigars Lounge today at 8th and Q in the Haymarket.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mostly sunny skies, and it will be breezy and hot with an afternoon high around 91. Tonight, mostly clear skies with a low around 63. And tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies return, be breezy again with the high around 89. I'm meteorologist Kyle Buck for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Hay harvest is a race against time. Order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower to harvest your hay quickly and efficiently while promoting quick dry down for quality hay. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location for full details on a new self-propelled windrower and experience the Landmark difference.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop!
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Are you worried about storm damage causing issues with your basement? F Foundation Repair fixes basements with supreme waterproofing and exact concrete leveling for residential or commercial clients. They service wet basements, leaky walls, damp crawl spaces, bowing or cracked bricks or drywall, and more. Whether you're in Southeast Nebraska, the Tri-Cities area, or Northeast Kansas, they'll easily make the trip to you. Get a free evaluation today by visiting WeFixBasements.com or call 402-804-1024. F Foundation Repair. We Fix Basements.
Services. At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing. Heating and air.
and electrical.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations, now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios at 1040 O Street.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now back to weekly rap sessions with All-American quarterback Steve Taylor on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Here we are breaking down the Nebraska-Colorado game, one of the biggest games of the weekend on NBC on primetime. And so a lot of people watched the game or caught it, the highlights, including Patrick Mahomes now being asked about it here within the last hour. Was asked about the comparisons with Dylan Raiola. He said, it's cool. Honestly, I was that guy. Grew up watching players. I loved A-Rod. Playing shortstop, would try to make plays just like him to help me become the athlete I am. I'm just telling me I'm getting a little old. So Patrick Mahomes, I think is 28, is feeling like he's getting old because younger guys are trying to compare themselves to him. Now, to be fair to Dylan, that's not really coming from him. That's everybody that just says, he's cosplay Patrick Mahomes and all that.
It is, but it isn't.
Yeah, but he said he wears 15 because of Tim Tebow, who has less of a resemblance to, but that's who he looked up to when he was a kid. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a double whammy there.
Yeah.
But the headband,
yeah,
the sleeve,
little goatee,
the socks, the dress, the way the shirt kind of hangs out, the haircut. I think it looks a lot like Mahomes, but whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid can ball. I mean, we talked about this early in the preseason that I think he was going to be ready for the moment, and he shows a really good grasp of the offense. He delivers a great ball, very catchable. So he's only going to get better. I know it's early and it's going to be different challenges for him once teams have game tape on him, game film, they can evaluate him and design defenses to really go at his weaknesses. But right now, I was really impressed with him. He threw a couple of passes in the crowd where there are 2 or 3 defenders and he dropped it in there. Nice touch. Did that. I mean, the scoot, the scramble, that was probably one of the most. There's 2 really impressive things about him. That was one of them. The other one, when he eluded the pressure, stepped up, ran outside. He knew the coverage. He knew he had a one-on-one situation. The Nebraska receiver was behind the guy, and he had the arm strength to throw on a run and still get it to him where he made the catch down there, near the goal line. That was a very impressive play because you need to know where all your defenders are on the team, if it's a cover 0, if it's cover 1, or 3 deep, and he knew that it was a 0 coverage, it was a one-on-one match, and he was behind the guy, and he had the arm strength to get it out there. So those were the 2 major plays that really impressed me. That this kid has some talent, and more than likely will be playing on Sundays, bar injury or whatnot. good size. But those are the two most impressive that I saw out of him, and his command of the offense. He seems like a very good team leader. He's out there congratulating kids on both sides of the ball, and he's well grounded. So he has a very bright future. I kind of felt sorry for Double H and the guys behind him because, if he stays here 3 or 4 years, you're not going to see very much playing time. So you hate to think about that, but one kid's going to have to redshirt so he can have at least maybe 2 years to start. Double H, I will look at switching positions. I really would. He can always come back to quarterback. I'm just looking out what I see. But this kid's a good quarterback.
And they talked about with Harburg, finding different ways to get him on the field. They didn't really. They kind of said that going into the week they tried one of those plays in the opener against UTEP, but you didn't really see a whole lot of it against Colorado. So we'll see if we'll see more of that.
And Nebraska
against
they're stocked at the tight end position.
Yeah.
But you can have double tights. I think he may get more playing time that way with rotation. And could also play quarterback if he needs to do that. But I would strongly advise him to look at doing that. I don't think he has a future the next level at the quarterback position.
Yeah. As far as Dylan's numbers, 22 of 30, 185 yards and a touchdown. Of course, you mentioned that bomb that he threw, Jalen Lloyd came back and got. But I mean, his numbers was that, which isn't overly impressive. I mean, but very accurate and a lot of times, he
took good care of the football.
Yeah.
He did that.
Yeah.
He managed the game. So that's for a young quarterback. That's huge.
And a few plays away. I mean, if that Jalen Lloyd deep wheel route would have been caught, which it hit his hands, that would have added quite a bit. And then, of course, the touchdown they got called back in the second half.
He was under duress that play. He let that go a lot sooner than what he wanted to, and he still threw a catchable ball.
Yeah.
In a place that only he can catch it. That was another play that was very impressive. He throws a deep ball very well. Sometimes he put too much air on it, but he throws a very, very catchable ball, and he gets it to the sidearm passes. He gets them to his receivers and tight ends.
Well, it's just nice to see Nebraska. It's been a while. Nebraska traditionally with running quarterbacks, right? I got to think back to maybe a Zach Taylor, somebody that was really efficient at standing in the pocket and making passes. Speaking of taking a lot of hits, he took a lot of hits. But just how much does that open up to have that deep ball accuracy?
It's huge.
Yeah,
you have to defend it defensively. You have to prepare for it, and those defensive backs they got to be conscious on those fakes, on those counter boots. You got to stay with your guy because all it takes is a peek in the backfield and boom, you lost a step or two, and the guy slipped in and he's behind you. So, and his ability to elude the rush and to get out to take, to get 5 or 6 or 10 yards puts so much pressure and onus on those linebackers. They have to really stay within themselves and be disciplined. So right now, Nebraska has a way that they can attack you. It's a very balanced attack. I like their intermediate pass game. I like their short game. But one thing I like the most is that they're stretching the field vertically. When you can do that those guys have to respect that.
A few other things to get to before we get out of here. Of course, there was a lot of star power in Lincoln. I have to ask you about Bud Crawford. I know
how sweet was that?
Were you pretty close to seeing him come out, lead them out of the tunnel?
Yeah, I wasn't on the field. I met Bud a few years back at a little promo at the Children's Hospital in Omaha. But to have a champion of his caliber come back and walk through that tunnel and do the things that he's done is inspiring. So Deion had all the glitz and glamour, but we had the real McCoy.
Yeah, the real champion there. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then I know since you're a Big 8 guy, I had to mention this. 6 of the 8 Big 8 teams right now in the top 25. So shout out to the old conference. Colorado not in it. And Kansas dropped to Illinois.
But Kansas dropped out. That was a tough loss.
They're knocking on the door though. So the old Big 8 standing strong.
I like that, but I'm beyond it now.
Yeah, I know.
But it's always that's a time of the past. Yeah. So I think now we can be a force in the Big Ten. I'm thinking we're gonna be relevant. We're gonna be relevant now. So that's gonna be nice to see, especially within USC, UCLA, and those teams. It's gonna be it's a great conference.
How hard do you think it is for the players? I kind of talked about Northern Iowa specifically, but just in general, there's kind of this theme, and the captain doesn't help with it because he's kind of calling out 7-0. A lot of talk about if you beat Colorado, they could be 7-0. Yet there's still, I know teams that they're not, they make the helmets of Florida State or anything, but Illinois, Indiana. I mean, some of these teams have started off pretty well.
This could go back to what Riley did when he started off like that. When we tipped that mark where they were ranked in the top 10.
Yeah.
I could see that happening. I don't want to get a bubble burst, But I think Nebraska will improve and get better. I think they will look better. And with the confidence of having a quarterback of our caliber, and if our defense is steady like it has been or is demonstrated thus far, we're going to gain some momentum. And if we can avoid that hiccup, which you may have, and we're going to have some tough games, but I can see Nebraska creeping up every week.
Yeah. It's going to be fun to follow them. Like you said, there might be a hiccup there. Hoping that does happen. People realize, that's kind of on schedule for what's kind of going on. Hopefully, it doesn't turn out like the Mike Riley.
We saw some huge hiccups last week,
Yeah.
So But one thing I like about Coach Rule and his staff is that these kids are well grounded. I think they're focused. They're gaining confidence. So I don't think we're going to have that letdown as far as energy. When I say a hiccup, you may have a close game that's going to take you down to the wire. But I think, like I said, Colorado was the only loss I had on the calendar out of the first 6 or 7 games. So, but the Illinois game is going to be, going to be testy. The Purdue game, they're going to be some testy games. But what I like is our offense. I mean, we're so balanced and so versatile that we can beat you with the pass, and that's going to open up our running game. I think you'll start seeing a lot more bigger run plays of 40, 60, 70 yards, maybe one taking it to the house.
That'll wrap it up for our wrap session today, our weekly wrap session with All-American quarterback Steve Taylor every Wednesday. Check it out here from 12 to 1. Coming up next is the locker room. Thanks again to Steve for stopping by. We'll talk to you next week.
You got it, my man. Go
All
get
right.
tipsy at the bar.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, my name is Molly Party. I'm a realtor with MP Dodge Real Estate. I'm a newly licensed agent and considered numerous brokerages before deciding on MP Dodge. I chose the company that gives me the most support in my new career, plus guidance and encouragement along the way. MP Dodge